Hey everybody! First of all, I want to welcome you guys to my channel because I got a few new subscribers. You're dear to my heart, and I hope if you want to let me review a certain movie, a horror movie, uh, that you think it's interesting to take a look at. No problem, I'll review it for you, and you got your second opinion. Always nice to have a second opinion, and it's fun. Now, so welcome. The first movie I wanted to chat about today is from 1982, Silent Rage. It's basically what I know. It's directed by Michael Riller, and it's with Chuck Norris. Uh, it's the only movie that I believe him to be in a horror movie, because this is they say it's dark comedy on IMDb. I don't see the dark comedy in this movie, but okay. But they also put a slasher movie on this in IMDb. So IMDb is probably correct about that. It gets a 6.7 on IMDb, which isn't bad. Now, of course, the movie begins with a guy swimming in his bed, and he's starting to freak out. He's calling his doctor, Ron Silver. It's one of his doctors in this movie. He's called Ron Silver's called Dr. Tom, and he says, "Okay, wait there. Take your medicine. I'll come to you. Just wait." And he says, I can't take it. I can't take it anymore. I can't take it anymore." He takes his pills and drops all the pills on the ground, and he drops the phone, and he's basically at that moment his brain is fried. Okay, so what happens is he goes to the garden. He takes an axe. He goes to his wife, wants to kill his wife. Wife runs up the stairs, closes the door from the bedroom. Then there's I think it's a granddad who comes to help, to help. He gets an axe in the face. You see the axe not going in the face, but you see the axe coming out, and you see the wound, and he's falling over. So you got a little bit gore. Then eventually he gets here's Johnny kind of way from The Shining, looking through the door, and slams the door open and slashes one time with the axe. That's it. That's a little bit subdued, don't you think? Now, Chuck Norris is the first cop. He's a sheriff, Dan Stevens. He's the first one to respond on the scene, and he sees the body of the older man who got the axe in the face. Takes his gun, but Chuck Norris doesn't need a gun. So Chuck Norris comes in the room. He meet the guy. Instead of axing him, he takes him from behind and tries to suffocate him with the handle. Of course, Chuck Norris is who Chuck Norris is. He does a few flips, he does a few tosses, and he manhandles him. Even though this guy is pretty strong, which is weird because it looks like not too wide, skinny, not a big guy, and he hits him a few. He hits Chuck Norris a few times even. Then he hits. Of course, Chuck Norris hit him once. Chuck Norris replies with two more hits. It's like that. He hit twice. He get hit four times. So, tack, 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 opla. He eventually gets a high kick, flies out of the window on the roof of the lower floor, and he jumps off. And then there is this fat deputy called Charlie, and says, "Stop, or I'll shoot." And what does he do when the guy runs away? Then Chuck Norris jumps out of the window. He shoots, and thankfully this guy is a bad shooter, because he would have shot his own sheriff's brains out. Jesus fucking Christ! Now, Charlie is this guy. It's this so bad. He's cute, sort of, so to speak. He's innocent. You know what I mean? You can't be mad at him. He's fat. He's a klutz, but he's a sweet guy. So you can't be mad at him. But okay, he does things like that. So of course Chuck Norris follows him. The guy takes a 2x4, hits Chuck Norris in the ribs, hurts him, but of course he still is Chuck Norris, manhandles him, and eventually manhandles him enough to knock him out, put him on the side, and cuff him. Even then, he's out of it again and still trying to fight. So he's put in one of the cop cars, and he just has a strength of pulling the cuffs from each other. He kicks one of the doors in. He starts to, throw a deputy to the left, throwing a deputy to the right. This time, Chuck Norris shoots his gun a few times in the abdomen area here, and then he doesn't stop him yet. And then another guy uses a shotgun, 2 blasts in the upper area, and that stops him. So it almost looked like he was invincible. Now we get to know why. So at some point, he goes to the hospital, and then Dr. Tom, he got three doctors working on him, experimenting on him with a new kind of drug, a drug that heals wounds immediately, but apparently makes you cuckoo right here. And Ron Silver is the guy who's in charge of the mental department, and you've got Dr. Phillips. He's sort of the guy who is in charge of the serum. Then you got Dr. Paul, who's basically the third guy. He's the neutral guy. He just listens to, what he has to do. Okay, so they're giving him the serum, and he's alive again. And they look at his wounds. The wounds are completely healed. And Dr. Tom, Ron Silver, says, "Look at that. Those brain waves. Those brain waves aren't normal. He's gonna become mad. He's gonna be a madman." No, he's not. No, he's gonna be a madman. You see it. You see those brain waves. You see it in front of me. Just kill him and be over it with it. And okay, yeah, you're right. Come to my office and we'll drink one, and I'll shut it down and I'll kill him. A nice clean death. Then when the Pope shits in the woods, it's not like he takes the needle of serum, puts it in his body again. Then Ron Silver, come he say, hey, where are you? And I'm just here. I put 100 cc's of this serum in this guy. Look at this before you freak out. Look at this. Takes scalpel, slices him from sternum to belly button, and the entire cut closes up like this. Every cut that he makes, every closes up like this. So he basically made a invincible human being. And then he looks at brainwaves, but he's completely fried at this point. The brains are completely fried. And then Ron Silver says, what are you planning to do? Make an army of superhumans and that don't listen to you? What are you trying to do? What are you trying to do? And then they're in an argument. He goes home, and of course, when he goes home, the other guys go to another lab, and we also know that the killer's name is John Kirby. He opens his eyes and he heard everything. Now, from this moment on, it's gonna be a spoiler alert. So what I can say from this movie is, it pleases the slasher fans, but it pleases the Chuck Norris fans. So it pleases the karate moves. You have this one scene that I'm gonna talk about after this one that gives all of his moves that he got, and where he goes against 10 guys, and you have the slasher mode where the killer kills with what is available in his arsenal. If he sees this, he'll take that to kill you. Most of the kills are still with the hands. But okay, the slasher fans are also, because basically John Kirby is a Michael Myers. He has this outfit on that is for surgical reasons, and if you put a Michael Myers head on, because he doesn't talk and he breathes really like this, you've got your Michael Myers. Yeah, because he was also invincible, right? So it's your Michael Myers type slasher. So spoilers from now on. So yeah, what happens after that is, apparently John Kirby basically followed Ron Silver, Dr. Tom's. He followed him to his home, and it's late, and let's eat some pizza. Or you call out some pizza, and she goes for the pizza, and he gets in. He sees John Kirby getting inside the house. He sees him standing there, and he's like, "Oh shit, fuck!" He's going to get a gun. He says, "Go away, John. I've got a gun. You don't want to be shot now. I don't want you to do this. I want to help you." Then John Kirby, of course, gets at him with a knife. He shoots him 4 times. He flies back. Of course, he is, he's like, and he stands up again, and he's like, fuck. He tries to strangle him. He gets another blow in the abdominal region, but he doesn't flinch, and he starts strangling Dr. Tom, the Swan Silver. Then his wife comes home, and basically he hits the wife with her head against. He crushes her skull, hits her head to the wall, which crushes her skull, and you see the blood on the wall. Now, I'm not sure if it after that or before that was there's a scene where some bikers are making a mock in this bar, and of course it's a small town, everybody knows everybody, and they know they're outsiders. So Chuck Norris and Charlie, Charlie of course, he basically says, okay, turn around, stop at TJ's, he said. I'm guessing TJ's the bar owner. Okay, so he goes in, and everybody's being, they basically tied up TJ, the bar guy, and he's bleeding from his nose and has a thick eye, so he's been already manhandled pretty hard. And then everybody sees the cops inside, and the other one, he knows Chuck Norris because later, before, he also came across him and said, took him by the throat and said, "Get out of my town, or next time your teeth will find your teeth on Main Street." And he's saying, "You're gonna regret this, and you're gonna regret this." And of course, he's now saying, now you're gonna regret it. Now you're gonna regret it. He's there with his entire posse, about 10 guys at least, and one lady, and she has 2 tattoos on her chest, and she likes the Charlie, little doughboy, come here. And she says, "Didn't you ever see a bear?" Floop, takes the tits out, and he goes, "Charlie, go away in the car and call for backup, please." So, and at that moment on, you get a typical Chuck Norris fight. Chuck Norris just devastating all of them, using karate moves, kicks and high kicks and twirl kicks and low kicks and uppercuts and hooks. He's basically kicking their butts all over Queer Street, which is an impression. It's not an insult against gay people, but it's basically they're all knocked the fuck out. The guy who he met earlier, one was his chopper was in the bar, and he wants to drive away, and then Chuck Norris takes a cue stick from pool table, and he just slams it against him, and the bike flies through the window, and it's just a great scene. It's a great scene. That's like I said, that's the piece that gives the Chuck Norris fans what they want to see. And after that, it gets to the slashing part. So Chuck Norris has a relation with what's her name, with Nancy, and she's the sister of Dr. Tom from Ron Silver, and the killed lady, which was Allison, Dr. Tom's wife. She got her brain bashed, right? So basically, she says, "Let's go to the hospital first, and then I'll get you safe." And Chuck Norris says, "You stay here with her. I gotta do something. I gotta find this guy." So Charlie, he leaves her fate into Charlie's hands, which isn't the best idea, but okay. We got to do something for Charlie, right? Because he has an old team of deputies, but it's like he has only Charlie, but you see clearly in the beginning that he has 4 or 5 guys with shotguns, another, a black guy sheriff, and with a shotgun, and a few other guys. I mean, where were the where I don't know where these guys were. So yeah, so eventually what happens is John Kirby is he came back to the lab to because he's been hit a few times and he's not um, healing as fast as he can. So Dr. Phil gives him another injection that heals him up fine. But then in the other room, the Dr. Paul says, "We gotta kill him. We gotta kill him. He's too aggressive. We have to." And he says, "Okay, okay." But he says, "Wait for a minute. I'll be back. Just have to go to my office." And when he goes to his office, Dr. Paul says, "Sorry, Paul, sorry, Phil, I have to do this." He puts a syringe inside into his neck, and he starts to blow, and you hear the flat line going. But then later on, in the hallway, you see it's a dimly lit hallway, and you see John standing there, which is a creepy scene. He's just standing there. That's what I mean, like Halloween. There are a lot of like Halloween references, where he's just standing there, and at some point he comes closer and closer and closer. Then he just runs at him, and it's like, oh, he has a needle to, like, I don't understand what he was going to do with that needle. I mean, Kirby would have, I mean, even a fucking syringe as a weapon with nothing in it. Okay, John Kirby takes the needle, of course, puts in the guy's neck. He dies. Dr. Phil comes back. He sees Paul dead. Okay, he goes to his office, drinks a few scotches. The door flies open, and he said, I know you were coming." And he's standing there in the doorway, and Dr. Phil goes to him, and he tries to grab him by the arms like they're friends. "I did it for you," he said. And then John Kirby, of course, just takes his head and breaks his head by Dr. Phil. So these three doctors, Dr. Tom, Dr. Phil, Dr. Paul, which one was one of them was Ron Silver, the more, the guy that was right all along, because he was there for the mental capacity, and Dr. Phil was the guy in charge of the serum, and Dr. Paul was sort of the assistant. Now, of course, they thought they're gonna win the Nobel Prize in Stockholm, but tough shit. I mean, tough shit. Yeah. And at some point, Chuck Norris is calling around, and he gets from the bureau, the sheriff's bureau. He's getting there are all sorts of calls, people getting in fights. Apparently something is wrong at the hospital. I said, okay, I'm going to the hospital. You clean up those fights. Okay, he's going to the hospital. Now, John Kirby then goes after Nancy, and she grabs him, and Charlie grabs her away, and he says, "Freeze, freeze!" And then he goes, instead of shooting him 6 times, okay, it will probably not kill him, and you can run away. what he does is he goes closer and closer and closer until the guy just takes the gun away from him and takes him like this, and really like snap, break his back, and yeah, that's the end of Charlie. Here lies the death of Charlie. Here lies the body of Charlie, the dumbest cop in the force. But oh, he was such a sweet guy. That's the thing about it, you know. Now Nancy's found. Okay, there are multiple doctors killed in this hospital. Usually, like I said, through hands, squishing heads, breaking necks. Apparently, okay, Chuck Norris finds Nancy. He sees John Kirby, and John Kirby looks. They're like eye to eye. It's at this moment they know. Okay, I gotta kill this guy. He took the gun from Charlie, and he fired all the 6 rounds in him, and he flew through the window from the, like, let's say 6th, 7th level on the ground. So normally that would kill a man, but okay, it's John Kirby. Of course, he wouldn't kill a man. So they'll go and see. Chuck Norris puts Nancy in the car, in the patrol car, and of course he's alive. Then okay, you get an entire scene which ends up in a sandy place, and there's a big well there. Now what happens is, that's a cool shot. They have this, like, if you remember Kill Bill, the first Kill Bill, they Oren and she and yeah, what was her name? Kiddo, Beatrix Kiddo. She locks eyes with her, and he does that with Kirby, and Kirby smiles, so he knows who the guy is for the first time. So they're, typical Chuck Norris is, doing fly kicks, doing every sort of kick he can do, but this guy just keeps coming, and at some points he gets slammed too. He gets a 2x4 in the head, but he's not quitting. But you hear that he's like, and there's a moment that he gets in John Kirby's clutches, and John Kirby's trying to, strangle him. Nancy jumps on his back, and that's the moment he hits Kirby. I'm not in his stomach a few times, so pa. Then Nancy lets loose. He starts to do a multiple size of combos, bomb, swirling kick, bomb, side kick, boom, uppercut, hook, and then he takes him from the ground and basically throws him in this well. Now it's a very deep and broad well, and Nancy says it's done. Yes, it's done. And of course, the movie ends with John Kirby coming out of the water. What do you suspect? I mean, that a few bumps and bruises and falling in a water well would kill him. One would be hard, is getting out of there, but it's still John Kirby, right? So I don't know, man. I don't know if he is gonna stay in there. So yeah, it's a good movie. Like I said from the beginning, it's got everything what Chuck Norris fans want, and it's got mainly the things that a slasher slasher fans want. You got a slasher villain, Yes, he doesn't use a lot of uh, like equipment to kill people. He mainly uses his hands because he's so strong, but he kills one by one. You get your slasher. It's not extremely gory, but there's it's not that there's no gore, but I think the director of this movie, which I said was Michael Krillin, Krillin, Kriller, yeah, Kriller. Sorry, I may be butchering his name. I think he didn't, because Chuck Norris before this had a career, but after this he had the career of Invasion USA, and then Hard to Kill, or what's the movie that has some secrets, some that had some sequels, but he has all these action-packed movies. He was a mainly 90s fight fan, like Jean-Claude Van Damme, Steven Seagal, all these guys. They became stars in the 90s, where action movies just packed on a lot of that just the guys who packed on muscle, the guys who knew to fight. Although I never found Steven Seagal really muscular, his walk is weird. He walks like this, like a chicken, and, I never could see the fact that he's with a ponytail. Now Chuck Norris has this head that really looks like a sheriff. He has the beard, the cowboy hat on. He had black, sunglasses on. He immediately has this imposing figure. So, but it's after that he really became so popular. Because before that, I did a Bruce Lee movie, Fighting with Bruce Lee, in the Colosseum in Rome, which, by the way, a little fact, they didn't have the permits for, and they did it in one quick shot. And the cat that's coming by in the shot and meowing is the moment they start the fight. That wasn't done on purpose. That was just a cat there. So it's pretty cool scene, and everything worked well, and they got everything out of there and just pretend that they weren't shooting there, they were tourists. How fucked up is that? Jesus. But yeah, like I say, it's a good movie. It has some good tension, got some good atmosphere at moments, like in Ron Silver's house. Where is the guy? Can pop up from like when Allison, his wife, is hiding. You hear him going away, but he was just standing behind the door, and you see him coming at her, and just breaks her skull. And I mean, it's some creepy atmosphere, some creepy scenes, great tension, and at the end you don't even know, and he also does this weird thing that he always, mainly women, is staring at them, crouching them like an animal almost, and looking at them like this, and smiling at them, and then he kills them. It's weird. It's really, really weird. It's creepy. Like I said, there is a creep factor in this movie. So, like I said, the director I think in my job, he did a good balance of horror and action. You know what I mean? But my eyes, on IMDb, they say it's a dark comedy. Yeah, Charlie, yeah, that's a comedic relief, but this movie doesn't revolve around Charlie, right? So, So yeah, I'll recommend this one. Check it out. If you're a Chuck Norris fan or a slasher fan, or a fan where you've got a guy that shows his skills, Silent Rage from 1982, the only horror film from Chuck Norris that I know. So, but see you later, everybody.